Hey everybody, it's hwsteele, and today is July 8th, 2021, which makes this the first weekly video for the month of July 2021. In the previous weekly video, which was the last video for the month of June, I put in the description of the video, I put a little note that said that I would be making an announcement in this particular weekly video. And it's just a small announcement, and that is that I will be releasing the weekly videos on Thursdays as opposed to Wednesdays. For the first half of the year, every weekly video came out on a Wednesday with maybe one or two exceptions. And for now on, or at least for the foreseeable future, the weekly videos will be coming out on Thursdays. So that is the announcement. Alright, let's go ahead and get to the subject matter of this video, which is being in harmony with what you're trading. Now the reality is there's a bunch of different ways to be in harmony with what you're trading. And I'm basically talking about law of vibration here, the idea that everything vibrates, and because everything vibrates, then you're going to be in harmony with some things because it's going to resonate well with you, since you vibrate and that thing vibrates in theory. And there are going to be other things that just don't resonate very well at all with you and are going to cause stress and unnecessary pain and agony at one level or another. So if you will be honest with yourself and associate yourself with things that you're in harmony with, you'll have a much, much easier and better time trading. So there are multiple different things that you need to realize you have to be in harmony with. And the more you're in harmony with, the better your odds of being successful at trading are. So an example of one thing is the particular market that you want to trade. You're going to find that there are some markets that you just do really well in, that there are other markets that you're like, I do well sometimes, I don't do well other times, and then there's a lot of markets that you just don't do well at all in. So obviously you want to trade the markets that you do well in. But what's really strange is a lot of people don't ever take the time to test out a good 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, whatever it might be, different markets. And I don't mean just spend a couple minutes with each one seeing if you think you could have forecasted. I mean actually trying to paper trade it or keep track of what you expected the market to do and then what it actually does kind of stuff. You're going to find that maybe out of 10, 20 markets, that one or two of them you line up with more so than the others. So those are the ones you're going to want to pay closer attention to. So the market itself is one thing that you need to be in harmony with, but you also need to be in harmony with what the market's doing. So what I mean by that is there are a lot of people that are just permanently bullish. They expect the market to keep going up. There are a lot of people that are permanently bearish, and they just expect the market, they always expect the market to go down. And it kind of lines up with people being optimistic, or overly pessimistic. And if that's the case, if you're one of those types of people, that's fine, but you need to be honest with yourself and line yourself up with markets that are in harmony with that. In other words, if you're that person that expects the market to go up, trade bull markets, trade markets that are in a bull phase. People like that who are permanently bullish or permanently bearish tend to be the kind of people who, when they find something and they're trading it and it goes their way for months or maybe even years, and then all of a sudden the market just seems to go sour on them and they just can't understand why they can't trade it, it's usually because that particular market has changed phase from whatever it was doing to something else. If it was going up, now it's going down, that kind of a thing. There are some people who do really well during the bull phase of the major market and they make a lot of money, but then they lose it all when the market comes and does the bear phase for a year or two because they're really good at trading up markets but not down markets. And if you'll be honest with yourself and can identify that in yourself, then you know that when the market becomes bearish for a period of time, you don't need to be trading. And likewise, if you're a permanent bear, you really should think about not trading when the market's going up. Obviously, you can also change your traits, but that takes a lot of effort and time. Sometimes it can't be achieved by some people. Other times they can change themselves. And that's a good thing, but don't let your ego tell you that you're capable of changing yourself and then expect it to just change on a dime, because that's not how it works. So you need to be in harmony with your market, and you need to be in harmony with what you expect your market to do. In other words, bull or bear. In addition to that, you need to be in harmony with your actual trading methodology. And what I mean by that is, an example would be some people, for instance, really want to learn how to trade like Gann did. Obviously, that's going to take time and effort to understand what he was doing and then be able to apply it. But there are some people who just do not and will not resonate with and be in harmony with how Gann was trading. And they might understand perfectly what Gann was doing, but because they're not in harmony with that, because they don't resonate well with it, they'll just not be as successful with it. And that's just the reality of it. You might be Elliott wave, it might be a moving average crossover, it doesn't matter. Some people are going to be really harmonious with some methodologies, and some people are going to be like just kind of middle of the road, while others are very much at a disadvantage using certain methodologies. So the reality is, if you're sitting there and you're trying to understand something like Gann or Elliott wave or whatever it might be, and you just can't get it to work for yourself, you might need to just be honest with yourself and say, maybe this doesn't resonate with me very well. I know people who have spent years studying Gann, are very knowledgeable in it, and don't use Gann in their trading, because they've come to realize that a different methodology works much better for them and is in harmony with them. So if you line yourself up with the market and the direction of the market and the methodology, all those things come together like that, you can be much, much more successful in your trading than if you're trying to force something. If you just think, oh, I should be able to trade this way, or I should be able to trade that market. The reality is, you need to be honest with yourself. That's one of the hardest things to do, is to step one, be honest with yourself in what, because maybe you want to trade something, but when you're honest with yourself, you go, you know what, I should not be trading that. And once you get to that point, you can become more successful, because you can line yourself up with what you should be trading, which a lot of times isn't what you first want to trade. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, and I hope everyone has a good weekend, and I will talk to you in next week's video.